And Mark, we're looking at our last match in the Greco-Roman and last match of the championship. And it's an 84 kilogram contest between Manoj Kumar of India, who's in the red singlet, and our first South African wrestler in the finals, Hugh Bella-Lifa.
And they're both quite cut, very well-defined athletes. Pretty good. Looks like they've worked out quite a bit in their life.
And I imagine the South African wrestler has had a little help from outside the country. I think they've imported Russian and Indian coaches to assist them with the development of their program. It's certainly showing in their production of international wins. And it's good to see a South African representative in the final of the Commonwealth Championships in 2007 here in London. He's one of the athletes that has traveled an awful long way to participate in this event. And next week, I imagine, Mark, most of these people will be in Guelph, Ontario for the Canada Cup, which is a very well-presented international contest.
I think it's pretty exciting that these athletes that come across the ocean and get two quality tournaments in and then be able to fly back home and,
Good for international wrestling, good for Canadian wrestling. It's great for young Canadian wrestlers, particularly in this tournament, to get their feet wet. We've come to that point in this match in the first round at the end of 1 minute where the blue wrestler will take the up position, Hugh Bella-Lifa from South Africa. Again, it's his obligation to score in 30 seconds or he'll lose a point for that. But his red opponent from India will have the same obligation in the next 30 seconds. And Bella-Lifa really came close to lifting his opponent through on a gut wrench. You have to be careful about using the legs in there. I see he's very close to it. And the officials watch carefully for any use of the legs to your advantage in Greco-Roman. It is not allowed. We're approaching the end of this 30 seconds, and 1 point goes to red because of the failure of the blue wrestler to score in that parterre position. Switch places. Kumar from India will try to score, but if he doesn't, a point will go to his blue opponent. And now in more cautions, they're cautioning blue and giving. Appears as though he wants to give 2 points. All they're doing is warning blue. The referee was a little enthusiastic about that. And 3 points from the standing position for Kumar on a very nice example of a body lock. The judge disagrees. He thinks it's 2 points. And now the judge wants to talk about it. The judge, or the chairman, says, I didn't see it. I would like to chat with you two about this. Certainly, I think, Mark, it's is a matter of whether it's 2 points or 3. And in my opinion, in this kind of wrestling, when you make that kind of effort and lift your opponent that high, I think you got to give them the reward.
You have to reward them. At least, I would think at least 3 points for picking him off his feet and taking him to his back. I'm not too sure what the referee's only wanting to give 2 points.
He also had a blue paddle up. I think it was a 0 though for blue. He had a paddle which didn't indicate any points on it. The mat chairman or mat judge at the side of the mat has a set of paddles with red and blue paddles, and each with a number on it. And he holds those up to signal the number of points that he thinks should be awarded. Unfortunately, in wrestling, some of these long delays can actually influence a match where one wrestler will have some momentum, and it can be taken away. However, all they're trying to do is get it right, and they did end up giving him 3 points. So Kumar is now winning 4-0, which is a solid lead. Hugh Bella-Lifa really does need to throw from this position, and he's making the attempt, and he's in his position to throw. That was near. If that had been still on the mat, they might have let him continue and try to arch through to his stomach, but they went out of bounds and he was on his back and penalized him. He lost 2 points. That brought the score to 6, even though there are 9 seconds to go in the first round. The red wrestler from India, Kumar, wins that round because it was 6-0. But Mark, he was in a position when he was arched and bridging and driving. If that had gone on in the middle of the mat, the referee might have allowed a little more time before he awarded red any points to see whether blue could actually complete that move.
But since his head went out of bounds there on the zone, then they called it. That's why they called the points the way they did.
Right. So the out of bounds is what cost him there. I had a feeling, though, he was close to being able to turn it, but he probably wouldn't have. Would have been good to see. The red wrestler, Kumar, reaches over and gives the non-obligatory handshake to Hugh Bella-Lifa. The wrestlers are obliged to shake hands at the beginning of the match and the end, but not between rounds, and some choose to shake hands between rounds. So second round, first round going to the red wrestler from India, 6-0. Hugh Bella-Lifa from South Africa, needing to win this match, this round, in order to stay in the contest. 2 out of 3 rounds wins it. Wrestlers get lots of advice from the corner, lots of technical suggestions, not all of which they hear, most of which they don't. And this match mark is going down to the 1 minute mark, 7 seconds to go, and we may be in a situation when we just bring it down to the top and bottom, and that's what it is. Red takes the position up first, I think. So red goes up first. It's actually it's been an interesting thing for us to see this. We don't see these kinds of rules very often, but freestyle might take some advice from it. A nice reversal. That's a rare thing, a reversal of position, and Hugh Bella-Lifa comes out on top of red, scoring 1 point. He would have scored 1 point if the red wrestler had been unable to score himself, but it's good to see him actually scoring it through a movement of his own. And look, he's getting close to a gut wrench. He's got to be careful about using that bottom leg. He cannot lift his opponent with his leg. You can in freestyle, but you can't put the knee in there and actually lift his hips off the mat. So he gets the extra point. It's now 2-0, so it's rather than just getting 1 point for the red wrestler failing to turn, he gets 1 point for that and the 1 point he earned by the reversal. So he's up 2-0. Good to see that. That 2 points was pretty important, Mark. He's up now, needs to score. If he doesn't, he'll lose a point, but he's in a good position now.
Because if he didn't score, like if it was 1-0 and it was tied, or he didn't score on top and the red wrestler did, then red would have win the match because it's the last point scored.
That's an important thing. Whoever scores the last point in a tie would win the match. Now, there'll be some talk about this. The referee signaled to red on a move that was initiated by blue. And the judge is disagreeing. The judge agreed with that. 2 points red and 1 point blue. What they said was that blue tried a move and red made blue pause on his back long enough to get the points for it. But then blue came around for 1 point. So it's interesting. We have 0-0. The judge has overruled both the the referee and the judge. That's quite rare. And I actually would agree with the judge on that one because it would be penalizing the blue wrestler too much. He was attempting a move and went through on his back. The red wrestler kind of paused there, but really didn't deserve much for it. So no points at all. And blue won that round. So now we have a deciding round for the championship in the last match of the Commonwealth. This is the final round in the final match of the Commonwealth Championships. Kumar from India, Hugh Bella-Lifa, South Africa, in the blue singlet. Each has won a round. Each has executed some very good moves, Mark, and shown some good defense. Each is a deserving champion, so it's going to be one of those somebody's got to lose.
And it's unfortunate that has to happen, but that's what we came here for, to have a winner.
And they both travel a long way, so it's coming down to a minute and a half of wrestling for them. Minute and a half left in the Commonwealth Championships in 2007 here from London. a South African wrestler against an Indian wrestler, both fitting countries for representing the final match of the tournament. And coming down to 15 seconds in the first 1 minute here. And they both seem, Mark, quite content to go into the parterre position. Neither wants to risk the match on something at a standing position where they could lose it.
And it's risky trying these throws. It's a lot harder to throw somebody than it is to shoot legs and just stall it out. And it's a bit of a risk.
The consequence of making a mistake in the action of a throw could be a pin against you, because you could land on your own back. So red has won the toss, and he is obliged to score. If he doesn't, blue will be up, and he's outstanding body lift, but blue has not. Now the referee wants to give 1 point for a lift, and the judge disagreed. The chairman gave 1 point for a lift. I'm not sure exactly what the rule states on that. Probably an effort move. And I wouldn't disagree there, Mark. He had an outstanding position. Blue didn't go to his back, but there is a very good move. A very good move. Red gets 2, and he probably get 1 more for that because the blue wrestler went hand to hand. Now we explained that the red wrestler did a gut wrench first, but then he did a second gut wrench and only got 1 point for it. Why was that again, Mark?
Because he went from one hand to the other. He didn't go to his elbow, which would give him exposure to his back and give up 2 points instead of the 1 point.
Well, it appears as though he does have a 4-0 lead. Sometimes the officials make decisions that we can't see, but it is 4-0. Blue, 17 seconds to go, and he really needs a couple of turns here, Mark. But if he should tie it, if he should turn him twice, he would win the match because he would have scored the last points. 7 seconds to go. Good to see that a match is won. The final match, Mark, is won on the kind of effort we saw from the Indian, Manoj Kumar. A very nice third round and a nice win for him to be the Commonwealth Greco champion, 84 kilograms. I thought that was a good demonstration of skill.
There was a lot of technique that he showed, but even that lift alone was
very nice. Exciting. And that concludes the wrestling action in the Commonwealth Championships here from the University of Western